Hi guys, this is Srinivas Gattani again. I have long suspected after COVID actually that all these people whom COVID has pushed aside in various countries, whom were against the jabs or were not happy with whatever their governments were pushing down their throats, and suddenly all the institutions across government departments and public institutions stopped making any sense. They were part of the coercion and all, and at that point in time, I thought the citizen government contract was pretty much over. And post that, a few years have passed, and we see that there have been ups and downs, specifically in the US, where the turmoils were more visible and to everybody in the in the globe. So we saw the Black Lives Matter fiasco, which evolved in some kind of a civil war within the U.S. And we saw all these woke, stupid agenda, DEI programs, uh, drag queens in the schools, and gender change operations for kids kid, and all these were really happening. This was more, it was not just a propaganda, actually it was so deep and engrossed that people uh, felt the stress. So, and a lot of people gave in to the stress actually. So uh, 5 years have passed since COVID, and I see a pattern that there was the leftist people across the globe who were in tandem, okay, with all these same left agenda, the woke agenda, the transgender agenda, and the socialist, the Marxist agenda, kind of. All these have been in tandem, and they have been part of the gravy train, the money which they have been receiving to propagate it and set the institutions according to the agenda in various countries. And a lot of people didn't understand because it has happened over 4 to 5 decades. So for example, USAID was set up some 64 years ago as a counter to the Soviet propaganda. And just around the fall of the Cold War, the mid 90s, it was hijacked by the leftist forces across the globe. And since then, the leftist woke agenda has been aided by USAID because it was a hijacked agency in the US. And it, the agencies, such agencies in the US were so strong that they created their own lobbies in Washington, DC, and then which in turn lobbied for more money to be pumped into the agency again. So it was, and then they had a network of NGOs which made sure that this entire ecosystem was very strong and flourishing, and the gravy train was always there. And didn't matter who was running the government, whether they were Republicans or Democrats. And since the money was going outside the country majorly, it was small. It was a. It didn't really become an American agenda, American point of contention for election, actually, election agenda. So the left has been in tandem, slowly flourishing, growing, and in the meantime, China emerged as a superpower financially, became a manufacturing hub, and grew its military by leaps and bounds within, like, in the same period, in the same 30 years of period. India too have made strides, but nowhere near to China's effectiveness. And Russian military has also been brought um, to a certain level, while we saw the formation of NATO at the same time. So there have been so many pressure points created across the globe for this point in time, where the war can be inflicted. So, for example, Ukraine, Russia is one of the points. North Korea, South Korea is another point. India, Pakistan is one of the points. Similarly, Gaza, Israel is another point. So, and there are a few more. So the all these pressure points, and China Taiwan is one of the major ones as well. So the pressure points had been created, the left was already there, and then COVID hit, which hit pan globe. Uh, uh, Pretty much everybody was hit, whether you are left or right, or you are a bureaucrat or a politician or whatever. Mo- Almost everybody was hit. So this hit majorly created carved out a set of people. We started questioning the entire show, the entire government setup and all, and most of them gravitated towards the right, actually. Now, if you see the populations of such people who have grouped to the right, who have been labeled as being labeled as a far right, mainly in Europe at this point in time, and the left wing media is very quick to put the labels on these people as far right. They are very few in numbers. If you see the world's total population, which is near about 7.5 billion people or a little more, the people who make up this this group who have a similar mindset, who know the big pharma scam, who know the government scams, who know the Federal Reserve have been printing money from thin air and stuff like that. Actually, how the world works, have been grouping together on their own or have been pulled together to be a part of a group, and this group will become the power source of something called as a global right wing, which they are the left wing media is probably has recognized or is realizing that there is such a group which is effective, and this group is actually international. The power source is still sitting in America because President Trump got elected almost miraculously after missing a term. And like he was a 45th president, and then he's the 47th president. He missed the 46th term, and because this is kind of the people's voice, and then they fought back in, and then lot of politicians across the Europe and the European people actually are looking up to America for such power, because they see similar minded people are forming the governments. If you see Trump's cabinet, President Trump's cabinet, these are not made by people who are extremely rich. These are people who have fought hard in the last 10 years against all sorts of corruptions and all sorts of excesses which the governments have done on its own citizens, actually. So these people are kind of battle hardened, and they are not rich, to say. They are not wealthy. They have the right mindset. So this interesting development is taking shape as a global right. Do let me know what do you really think about this, because I see marker I see flags everywhere across the globe where these people are voicing similar things, and then they are grouping together. The global left was already in tandem because of the gravy train, and then their conveniences and missions were aligned. And let's see where we get with the global right. So looking forward.